Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Cafe Bagheri. Before I start today, I wanted to let you know that these limited edition Cafe Bagheri aprons are available on cafebagheri.com. They're in limited supply. They're embroidered right here in Dallas, and you can go check them out right now. So I haven't done a lot of sweets and desserts on this channel, but this one is very near and dear to my heart. It's a childhood favorite of mine, very popular cookie in my old country, Iran. It's called Shirini Keshmeshi. Keshmesh literally translates to raisin. It's a Persian Saffron Raisin Cookie, and you and I are going to learn how to make this. I think you're going to love this one. So for the Persian raisin cookie dough, we're going to measure half a cup of white sugar and half a cup of brown sugar. If you want your cookies to be harder, you can go with all white sugar, but the more brown sugar you mix in that 1 cup, the softer and chewier your cookies are. So we went with half and half white and brown sugar. One of the characteristic aspects of this cookie is the smell and color of saffron. It has a slight yellow hint of saffron in it. So where that comes from is 1 tablespoon of hot water and 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground saffron. As always, like I tell you, never use saffron threads in your food or in your pastries or whatever you're making. Always grind it, mix it with hot or very cold water. That way you get maximum color and flavor out of your expensive saffron. So I'm gonna just eye measure. And saffron is so precious and expensive, I don't spare any of this goodness on the sides of the glass. So this is gonna go in your cookie dough. Okay, we're gonna put it aside. We put our room temperature butter. This has been softening, sitting on the counter for some time, at least 30 minutes. We're going to put our cup of sugar in the butter and cream it together. We're going to use our hand mixer right here. In order for the stuff that you're mixing, especially when you add your flour, you don't want it to all powder out and scatter. You need a bowl with high sides like this, so it contains everything that you're pulverizing in there. And the mixers, the first speed on your mixer should be slow enough that it's not splattering everything around. So the 2 things we need to do. One is once in a while you have to push down the sides to make sure you get a more of a consistent mixture when you're creaming the butter and sugar. Second, because we're using brown sugar, there are clumps because we're in a very humid area in North Texas. The brown sugar we store in the pantry, as you can see, it has these clumps. See that? You need to make sure you press on them so that they will mix well with your butter. That's something that your mixer cannot do. We're going to do another pass on this. So now we have creamed our butter and sugar. We're going to add the eggs one at a time. And mix each one thoroughly into your butter and sugar. Okay, so we're going to mix the second one. Now, once we push down, again, the sides of the bowl to make sure all the pieces of sugar and butter that were missed, they're pushed back into the puddle and mixed with the rest of it. All right, so we need half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. This is when you add your saffron water. Look at that color. Isn't that beautiful? There you go. Look at that color. That's the saffron touch we're looking for. We have a cup of all-purpose flour, standard. I'm gonna add this in installments, about a third or fourth of it at a time. Either one works. Start from outside of where you put the flour and work your way in slowly. Okay, we do another portion of the flour. So I'm gonna stop and do one final push down of the sides. See all of that unincorporated flour? All of the flour and the rest of the ingredients have been incorporated, and you have this creamy consistency. We're gonna add the last ingredient, which is salt, a quarter teaspoon of table salt. There you go, it goes in there, and you do one final mix. And you go on high speed one last time to get all the goodness off of these mixer attachments. So now we have all the ingredients, and this is basically your cookie dough. You could in fact scoop this on the cookie sheet, put it in the oven, and you have cookies. But these are raisin cookies. So what do we need to add in them? A whole cup of premium California raisin. Make sure they're not clumped up together. Make sure they're all separated because you want to get the most coverage out of them. I know it looks like a lot of raisins, but we like a lot of raisins in these cookies because that's their main characteristic, right? So you just fold them in, make sure they're spread all over the cookie dough. And this is a very low sugar, very light cookie recipe. That's why Mama San loves these, because they don't have nearly as much sugar as your average cookie that you like, chocolate chip or whatever cookies you get here in the market. Maybe less than half as sweet. And that's all she wrote. You're ready to scoop them onto your cookie sheet. Our oven is preheated at 350. We're gonna get our cookie sheets here. I believe we have enough for two standard cookie sheets. I love these cookie sheets without a side because I have a convection oven, so the air is circulating there. If you don't have the sides on your cookie sheet, the air kind of envelopes around the cookie and your cookies bake better. So I recommend, first of all, a convection oven. Second, these flat cookie sheets without a side. There are two ways to scoop these cookies onto the cookie sheet. One is you find a ice cream or cookie batter scoop that can scoop about a tablespoon. You don't need any more than that. I really like to go old school and use 2 tablespoons, right? So what I do is I just use 2 of them working together. It takes a little more work, but look at that. And then I'll push it down. We just continue until we've gone through the whole. Look at that, see? This is how you do it with 2 spoons. And then once you have an almost round dough ball, you just push it off. Don't worry about a perfect shape. Like I said, it's gonna work itself out. Heat does magic for that. Okay, we have all of our cookie dough scooped onto our 2 cookie sheets. We start with the top one, right there. And then we put in the bottom one. We have 20 minutes to go make some hot Persian tea or some coffee, waiting for our raisin cookies to be ready. Look at this. We have 2 cookie sheets, so we're going to take them both out. So one thing to remember at this point, you can bake them more than 20-21 minutes to get a richer, darker color and a little brownish around the edges. But remember, your cookies will come out harder and crunchier. If you want soft and chewy cookies, stop at 20 minutes and you're in a good place, especially since we put some brown sugar in there. So there you have it, guys. Persian Saffron Raisin Cookies. So thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget about Cafe Bagheri apron at cafebagheri.com. Limited quantity and limited time. Check it out. Please like this video, subscribe if you haven't, hit that little bell button so we can keep in touch, and I'll see you right here at Cafe Bagheri very, very soon.